My name is Stuart Musinski. 13 years ago, my wife Susan and I started a charity called Project Love. To date, we've trained 40,000 teens to build a culture of kindness and respect wherever they go. While we trained these American teens, we noticed something very special, that their values were similar, that despite their differences, they really were the same. If this is true with American teens, it must also be true with all Americans. Maybe we're divided only in our perceptions. We wanted to find out if this was true, and so Susan and I and our son Stephen packed up our car to travel across the country to search for the values in America that unite us. Not the red, not the blue, but a blend of both. And that's how Purple America was born. We started out in New York, where in 1953 my parents Ida and Stanley, that's my mother Ida on the screen, both immigrants from Poland, came along with my brother Ed by boat to the United States. My father told me that as they passed the Statue of Liberty, he told Ed what this country stands for. He said that America stands for freedom and opportunity and safety, that they would never ever have to go to another country again. From New York on our way to Los Angeles, we stopped back in our hometown of Cleveland, Ohio to see how this major city in the presidential swing state compares with our experience in New York. Cleveland was recently crowned one of the poorest big cities in America. I was especially interested in seeing if Clevelanders were really similar to other Americans when it comes to our basic values. I decided to approach people in different areas of the community. Stephen manned the extra camera. My wife Susan offered advice. My daughter Sarah was busy on the job in New York. Cleveland is replete with festivals during the summer, and that's where we started our search for American values.
I would say it is probably aspirational, in the sense that we believe and we hope that things can improve in our country and our lives and in the world.
Equality, so fairness is equivalent to equality. Equality and fairness with jobs, with housing, with education, having everything in terms of everybody being equal.
Do you believe that we actually have that in this country, or is that something we aspire to?
I believe aspire to.
And it's the ability to assimilate different folks into the society, and pretty much anybody can come here, have an American dream, and make it if they have the right zest and the right attitude towards life.
If you are a foreigner, you will be able to achieve what you want, if you work hard enough. And that is true. Even after 13 years, I can still say that that is still true here.
One of the summer's attractions is the Twins Days, the largest gathering of twins in the world. So what do you think are the American values that unite us, that we stand for?
Should be love and respect. Love and respect, and treat others how you want to be treated.
Do you actually see that happening in this country among people?
Not as much as it used to.
How did it used to happen?
People were more friendly. They would say, how do you do, or good evening, as they passed each other on the street. If somebody dropped something, they'd reach over and help pick it up. Now they just look at you and walk away.
My first value would be family, and then it would be God. It could almost interchangeable.
Okay. You believe most Americans stand for family and most Americans stand for God?
Regrettably, no. I don't believe most Americans believe in both.
But you think that's an American value?
I do, yes.
Okay, so why don't Americans believe in that? Or do most Americans?
I think sometimes when you get too prosperous, you forget what brought you there.
Americans should stand for fairness, a sense of fairness, a sense of justice, a sense of respect for people of all cultures and religions. I think that's what America's all about. There's a place for all of us here in America.
You can't ignore the community that elected the first black mayor of an American big city. So we went into the neighborhoods, barbershops, and schools to find out what residents, workers, and educators thought.
I think the value of the whole thing, you should respect others like you respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, how can you respect anything else with value?
And you think that's an American thing?
I think that's an American problem.
That people don't respect themselves?
Right, they don't respect themselves enough. If you respect yourself enough, then you think you would be going through this problem that you're going through. And it's all because of material value.
So do we stand for truth, justice, in the American way?
No. We're supposed to, but we don't. Everything's so messed up. No, everyone's not together like they're supposed to be. Every man and lady is out for themselves. If everyone was together as we're supposed to be, this world would be a much better place than it is.
What do Americans stand for? They stand for love. They stand for strength and dedication for all. They stand for reaching and giving back. That's the key. That's the foundation of community in America.
Major corporations have been bashed in the press as being uncaring and cold. I went down to Sherwin-Williams, a Cleveland icon, to see how corporate values mesh with American values.
They have pretty similar values, is my sense of it. Most of us have families. We want those families to do well. We want to help take care of those families. Most of us have communities. We want those communities to do well. Most of us know that in business we help to generate jobs, we help to generate wealth, we help to generate a lot of good things that go on in communities.
Since Cleveland is a mix of cities, suburbs, and country, we wanted to hear from fairgoers at a county fair. What do you think are the values that connect us as Americans?
Well, I think a desire to be loved, a desire to be accepted, and I think a desire to be happy in life and to truly achieve a pursuit that defines you as an individual.
We are all related. We are all related. We are all connected. So we have to be working that way, and the unity to be all the people respect one each other.
With the Cleveland Indians on a roll and #1 in the Central Division, we took in a Cleveland Indians game where we talked to a banker and a scalper.
It's eroding, the values, it's eroding, and it trickles down from the upper, and it comes, you know, because it's just like the Titanic. It didn't matter where you was when it sunk. You could have been on the top, the middle, the rich. When it went down, everybody went down.
So what do you mean by it's eroding? How's it eroding?
Because the values are not traditional like they used to be.
How did they used to be?
I mean, it used to be, you know, people were more friendlier. The world was just a better place.
I think what they always said, freedom, family, and the ability to live in a country where you can do what you can do is based on how hard you want to work.
At a local playground set up by 2 community women to enable kids of all backgrounds and abilities to play with one another, I asked one of the organizers, why go out of your way?
Well, so that all children can learn and play together, no matter what their disability or without a disability, and so that everyone can learn to accept each other no matter what.
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we heard from fans. What do you think Americans stand for?
As a whole, everybody basically stands for truth, honesty, whatever your religious belief is, whatever your God is, and just being good people.
This coming from a dyed-in-the-wool deadhead, what I've tried to teach my children, what I've tried to pass down to them, is a responsibility and accountability for other people around you, for your community, for the people that you see every day.
During this time, homicides were skyrocketing in Cleveland and other major cities. I wondered how our county prosecutor felt about American values.
I think by and far, everybody's a good person. They're hardworking. They are raised, if you will, correctly by parents with good principles and good core values that they passed on to their children, and that's what we're all about.
Consistent with our pledge to gauge the country through hairdressers, we interviewed one at a local salon.
I think a lot of the women that I see really just want their kids to be loving, honest, just well-educated, good people.
At an area church, a congregant spoke passionately about America.
The love of liberty. The fact that only in America we have opportunity to be whomever we want to be. We can set goals and achieve them. We have so many rights, and I have been to other countries, that we are just simply blessed, for a better word. We are just blessed because our forefathers set this thing into motion. And when you look around, there's no other place in the world that you can do, be, and have but in America. That connects us. That connects us from heart to heart and breast to breast.
And at an ice cream social at my mother's nursing home, a resident told me that although she couldn't remember some people's names, she did remember what her adopted country stood for.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
That's our Purple America report from the Rock and Roll City in the heartland of America. The people here were concerned about the deterioration of American values, but they also spoke about hope, opportunity, freedom, family, diversity, faith, hard work, kindness, compassion, love, and the American dream. Like Superman, born in Cleveland in 1933, they spoke about truth, justice, and the American way. Aspirations that Susan and I see in young and old alike. But we'd like you to decide. Are we similar or different as Americans? Can we bridge our differences, or are we miles apart? I'm Stuart Musinski, reporting from my hometown in Purple America.